These two cameras are remarkably different yet compact. The brand new DJI Action 6 and Insta360 Go Ultra. These are the latest model from DJI and Insta360, and even though they belong to the same broad category of compact cameras, their purpose and design philosophy are worlds apart. And that's exactly why this comparison is so interesting. Because, let's be honest, not everyone who needs a compact, durable camera actually needs a full-on action camera. But at the same time, the Insta360 Go Ultra is not some delicate prima ballerina, and I will show you why. And the best thing is that Insta360 dropped the price for Go Ultra due to Black Friday, so this might be a very attractive option to purchase. Let's start with the specs. These two could not be more different. The DJI Action 6 is basically a tiny tank. It's built from rugged materials. It's heavy, thick, feels like a brick in the best possible way. And you can take it underwater in snow, mud, sand, wherever, and it will survive. It's designed for rough use. The Go Ultra, on the other hand, is a complete opposite. The small, delicate-looking, feather light and detachable from its action pod. But don't let the looks fool you. The main camera module can be dunked underwater, splashed with mud, taken through the rain and dust, and it just keeps going. It survived my entire trip, including some pretty tough scenes, and it never complained. So the question becomes, what do you actually need? A rugged brick or a tiny magnet-powered practical cube? Let's start finding out by checking the colors. I set the DJI Action 6 to normal 10-bit 4K 30fps, standard field of view. The Insta360 Go Ultra was configured similarly, except it shoots in 8-bit. For those who don't know what that means, here is a simple explanation. 8-bit color can display about 16.7 million colors, with 256 shades per channel. Totally fine for normal viewing, but 10-bit, over a billion colors, 1024 shades per channel, which give you smoother gradients and much better flexibility for color grading. If you're shooting professionally and doing heavy color correction, 10-bit is a big deal, but for social media delivery, most platforms compress everything back to 8-bit anyway. So if you are new to this, don't stress about 8-bit versus 10-bit too much. Moving to low light. This was the moment the differences became very clear. The sky on that evening looked unbelievable to the eye, with lots of shades, but not as bright as what the camera captured. When comparing the footage, the DJI Action 6 made the video too smooth, almost plasticky. You can even see the sky shaking a bit unnaturally. The Go Ultra handled highlights better, definitely less over-brightened, but it also introduced more grain and noise. Both cameras were in their low light modes. Neither of was perfect here, but they approached the scene very differently. Now let's jump to the morning before the sunrise inside the tunnel. And here honestly I was shocked about how good the Go Ultra looked compared to the Action 6. The jittering on both was similar, but Action 6 showed more detail while the Go Ultra felt smoother overall. Both were filmed in the normal mode, and then when I stepped outside onto the path and started walking, look at the stabilization on the Insta360. I literally had to double check the files because I thought I mistakenly placed the wrong clip on the timeline. The Action 6 looks extremely jittery compared to the Go Ultra. When I pointed the camera toward myself, the Action 6 had more natural image with less noise, but it was still more jittery. The Go Ultra introduced more grain, but delivered a more stable picture. Continuing along the same road, Action 6 kept its detail advantage, but Go Ultra remained noticeably more stable. Then something interesting happened. When I enabled low light mode again, magic. The Go Ultra image suddenly became extremely clear compared to the Action 6. If you look at the car plates, both cameras washed them out, fair enough. But the Go Ultra preserved contrast better. Meanwhile, Action 6 produced dark lines and the spots that looked far too strong. When I pointed the camera at myself, I would say the images looked equally fine. Nothing to complain about on either side. So I would leave it to personal preferences there. About 15 minutes before the sunrise, again in normal mode, the Action 6 continued to produce jitters, more than the Go Ultra. One thing that shocked me, Action 6 didn't switch to aperture f2.0, even though it was still down. Instead, it looked like it was boosting ISO and exposure compensation to brighten the image. I still don't know why it does that. Now let's talk about the features that DJI clearly took inspiration from. The Insta360 Go Ultra includes two special fields of view, Lock 45 degrees and Lock 360 degrees. Lock 45 degrees limits roll so the camera corrects horizon tilt only partially, great for keeping some natural motion while still preventing extreme tilting. Lock 360 degrees completely stabilizes rotation, keeping the horizon perfectly flat no matter how you twist or rotate the camera. DJI's alternative versions are horizon balancing and horizon steady. Horizon balancing keeps the horizon stable within a limited range of 45 degrees, while the horizon steady handles the full 360-degree rotation to keep the video perfectly level. They are similar ideas implemented differently. The Go Ultra also offers 2x lossless zoom, which is extremely practical for such a tiny camera. So let's compare zoom performance. Action 6 shows more details and slightly more noise. Go Ultra looks a bit more washed out, but still very decent. And when I point the camera at my face, surprisingly, more fine detail is visible on the Go Ultra. But what do you think, guys? Now comes the off-road walking test. This one is always hard to judge because it's subjective. I personally like the look from both cameras, but to avoid any arguments about which one represents really better, I filmed the same scene using iPhone 16 Pro and the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. So, which one matches the real-life look more closely? Go Ultra or Action 6? Now, sound test. The Action 6 is known for a good audio, but listen to how the wind noise is cancelled differently on the Go Ultra. So, let me point the camera to my direction using low light, PureVideo on Go Ultra and SuperNight on Action 6. When the camera is pointed at your face, the Go Ultra actually sounds louder, clearer, and with less noise. But if you are not speaking directly to it, the Action 6 picks up your voice better. So when the sun is up and we see lots of lights on the horizon, let's also take a look at all the details we have in front of us and under our feet. So if you are depending on how you use it, audio performance shifts back and forth. Now the golden hour, the most important part. Beautiful sunrise, warm tones, clouds, no doubts here. The Action 6 looks better and cleaner overall. But when the camera is pointed towards the face, the differences shrink a lot. Both do a perfectly acceptable job. Photos. The Go Ultra surprised me again. It takes genuinely great photos. In the examples I shot during good morning light, the Go Ultra actually captured more detail in several shots than Action 6, especially in the textures and foliage. Switching both cameras to 4K 60 fps, maximum field of view and shooting some action scenes. Both handle motion really well, but I noticed a strange orange tint appearing on my face when using Action 6. Meanwhile, the Go Ultra kept colors more natural, and once the sun was fully up and I filmed the horse walking, then the sunlight appearing behind the tree, both cameras produces beautiful footage. Action 6 had more detail, but the colors were slightly flat. The Go Ultra captured the gradients and warm transitions more naturally, closer to what I actually saw while filming. Both cameras have strengths and weaknesses. The Action 6 is rugged, durable, larger sensor, and offers nice colors in most scenes. The Go Ultra is tiny but powerful, incredibly compact, and has proven its reliability because it survived a long and very intense trip with me. It's up to you to decide which one fits your style and why. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next very interesting episode coming in just a few days. Cheers and bye.